Hello, this is the second video for this class, and today I will be tackling the control theory. Yeah, let's jump right into it. So the control theory has a little bit of a different way of tackling this idea of social deviance. One of the first differences is that the control theory asks more on what causes conformity instead of what causes deviance. The other theory, the anomic string theory, is the one that kind of goes directly towards what causes deviance, and the control theory is kind of like the roundabout way of asking what causes deviance by tackling the idea of social conformity. Another kind of like a big difference is that the control theory says that all human beings are born with the ability to be a deviant in our society, and because of the social bonds that we have with the society, we don't abuse the right to be a deviant. And anomic string theory, they don't allow the idea that everybody is born with the ability to be a deviant to exist in their theory, and the control theory actually allows that to happen. And like the other video, we'll take a look at different sociologists who kind of expanded this theory. The first guy that we're going to take a look at is Hirschi. His kind of point of view is that we have the ability to be a deviant, but we don't because we have strong social bonds. And the book introduced 4 types of bonds that Hirschi kind of came up with. First one is attachment, second one is commitment, third one is involvement, and the fourth one is belief. And Hirschi explains that because of these weak bonds, we are more likely to perform deviant activities. And he also likes to use weak self-control as one of the causes for deviance. So the next person that we're going to talk about is Tittle. His thing is the lack of control balance is the cause of deviance. And control balance can be separated into 2 types. One is control surplus, where control we have over others is greater than the control others have over us, and control deficit is where the control over others is less than how much control others have on us. So the next sociologist that contributed to this theory is Braithwaite, and as Hirschi kind of talked about how society controls us through bonding, John Braithwaite looks at how society controls us through shaming. And shaming is one of the ways where society controls us. And he kind of goes into 2 types of shaming. One is disintegrative, and the second one is reintegrative. Disintegrative shaming is when the wrongdoer is punished by being stigmatized, rejected, banished, and kind of moved out of the society, while reintegrative shaming is more positive. It involves making the wrongdoers feel guilty while showing them forgiveness and even respect. Braithwaite actually explains that reintegrative shaming usually discourages further deviance, while disintegrative shaming actually stigmatizes and encourages further action and further deviance. And the book takes it further by saying United States kind of emphasizes disintegrative shaming, therefore we have more crime rates compared to Japan, where they emphasize more reintegrative shaming to lessen out their crime rate. And Braithwaite actually argues that United States can significantly reduce its crime rates if it emphasizes reintegrative shaming rather than stigmatization in dealing with criminals as Japanese society does. And finally, the deterrence doctrine talks about how humans are rational and they weigh the cost of crime with its benefit. And it's all about punishment. And the 3 factors that go into it is severity, certainty, and swiftness of the punishment. And it will affect how criminals will act in the future after they committed a deviant behavior. Some of the criticisms that control theory faces is that although Hirschi's social bond and self-control theory is very respected, it doesn't account for how deviance affects social bonds or self-control. And that's kind of like the main problem that it's having. The second one is Braithwaite's argument for United States to reduce crime won't actually work on everybody. Especially those who are kind of hard-skinned and kind of lost sense of shame for their crimes, it won't affect them as much as, the minor criminals in our society. And the third, deterrence doctrine has conflicting support from research, where sometimes prisoners who faced harsher punishments would go out and do more crimes again. And lastly, finally, the control theorists only see social control and those things as a preventer of deviance, and they fail to see it as one of the causes of deviance, and that's one of the bigger issues that it's facing. Well, that's all I have for control theory, and I'm sorry to say this is probably the last episode that I'll ever do. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, Professor. And yeah, please give me a good grade. I actually made the music myself, so yeah, extra credit please. Thank you.